Okay folks, we're at the next step here. We want to put the toilet on the floor flange that we installed last evening. Now traditionally the first step that you would have done in this would have been to take the toilet and turn it over. Here I'm showing you what I would have done, even though it's not what I'm going to do. And on the bottom of the toilet here you see the round hole there. Around the outside of that you would put a wax ring. They're relatively inexpensive. They are put on there so that there is a watertight seal between the bottom of the toilet and the floor flange, so you don't have any leakage. The wax seals last for a while, but if you start to have a leaking toilet with water on the floor around the base of the toilet, it's possible that the wax ring just failed after time. They don't last forever. The better ones have a little bit of a plastic lip attached, almost a funnel type of look to it, that would actually fit down into the floor flange to make sure that they work better. But I'm not going to use one of those because there's a new product out. Typically what you have to do with the wax ring is put it on and actually pick the toilet up and then hold it in the air right over the floor flange with the bolts sticking out, because you can't really slide the toilet side to side with the wax ring on and not ruin it. So it's a little trickier to do that way, but that's what you typically would do. But what I found is, I didn't know this was out there until I was shopping in this repair. They have a new style of ring. I've never used it before. It's made out of rubber. It's supposed to last longer and be better than a wax ring. So it's about twice as much as a wax ring costs. Not a huge expense, but if this gives me more years of no problems, we'll see. But I'm going to give it a try. Instead of attaching this rubber, and I'm talking about this blue rubber piece there, you see, instead of attaching that to the bottom of the toilet, the instructions say put it right on the floor flange and then just set the toilet right on top. So I guess you can reposition that slightly if you need to, unlike a wax ring. The first thing that we want to do, remember I talked about these bolts with the rectangular heads that actually slide down in. So we're going to put those into the slots, turn them. And get them approximately where we want them to be. The wide opening in the slot, the head slides down in, turn it 90 degrees so that both sides of the head of the bolt are catching the lips of the ring, so it holds it securely. This set also comes with these little plastic washers to kind of temporarily hold the bolts in place for you. You just slide them down on like that. Also, depending on your toilet, they have bolts that can be actually cut off if they're too long. Some toilets, they have a plastic cap that you put over these bolts so you can't see the bolts. And if these were to be too long, these bolts, you just take a hacksaw or whatever and cut them off to the size you need. I'm not going to worry about that right now. So I'm putting those approximately where they're going to go, with where the holes line up in the toilet. I know it's basically in a straight line perpendicular to the line of how the toilet is going to sit. And then what I want to do is put this right on here over the bolts and center it up in the floor flange like that. You can see it's got a little rubber gasket there. Again, that helps with the flow of materials down through there properly, and also to help it to keep it from leaking. So that's temporarily in place right now. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick the toilet up and set it right on there. I've got to try to align the bolts with the bolt holes on the toilet. I'll kind of feel as I'm putting it down to make sure that ring is where it's supposed to be, and then hopefully it'll lock down. One thing I do have to do before I complete that, though, there still is a little bit of old wax on the bottom of this toilet. I need to get that out of the way so it doesn't interfere with the seal here. So I need to scrape that off a bit before I do it. So we'll be back to you after we're done with that.